Hello everyone, TIMOTHYonPC here, and today is just a quick review of this little guy right here. This is the DXT mouse. It is an ergonomic ambidextrous mouse. You can use this with your left or your right hand. It is currently flanked by the Logitech G Pro Wireless and the Logitech MX Master 3 for comparison. I just really wanted to talk about this mouse. So a little bit about myself. I am an IT professional that spends anywhere between 8 to 10 hours a day on the computer. And I use I use a lot of computer mouses. Over the last couple of months, I've been experimenting with just different kinds of ergonomic mice. To include, the MX Vertical, the MX Ergo, some of the trackball mice, and this mouse is probably one of the more unique ones that I've seen, just because of kind of what it looks like, its design. The chassis is significantly smaller than what you would expect to find on your traditional mouse, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. So, TLDR. It's okay. It has its flaws, it has some issues, and those things I will talk about today. I think the mouse overall, as an ergonomic mouse, it could be better in my opinion, but we'll talk about that in a few. So this mouse is ambidextrous. I'll turn it on and kind of explain how that works. So power buttons on the bottom along with your DPI toggle switch. It goes from 500 to 1000 to 1500 to 2000. And if you want to swap between left and right, you simply hit this button right here. So right now it's on right hand, now it's on left hand, and that's basically it. Holding this mouse, you basically hold it very similar to how you would hold a pencil. So, most people kind of hold a pencil something like this and they write. That's similar to how you hold this mouse. If I'm right-handed, most of you are, kind of use the mouse just like this. You can pull your hand back a little bit and be a little more ginger with it. I emphasize ginger with it because this mouse is extremely sensitive, and we'll get to that in a couple of minutes. So I do like the feel of it. The mouse itself feels nice and chunky. It's got a good, this feels fairly natural to me. I don't know about the rest of you folks, but this feels pretty natural. And I think it is because of that whole pencil grip kind of effect that I think they were going for. But there are a couple of problems with it. Number one that I want to talk about is these buttons. So this mouse is marketed as a light click mouse, okay? Now, in theory, that's fine, okay? But I feel like it's too light. If you are right-handed and you're moving from right to left on your mouse pad or on your surface somewhere, and you're pushing this mouse, I don't know if you can hear this, but I'm actually misclicking, okay? And there's no major resistance on the surface right now. I'm not even on a mouse pad. This is just standard, this is just a standard particle board with a slight lacquer on the top of it. And I'm misclicking constantly, just moving this mouse from right to left. If you're left-handed and you're moving from left to right, you're gonna get the same problem, okay? You're gonna get the same misclicks. And, with a normal mouse, you don't really experience these kinds of things because the buttons are horizontal, okay? Even on a mouse such as the MX Vertical, right, or the MX Lift, which are both Logitech products, I feel like they get around some of that with two major things that this mouse is lacking. Number one, the mouse is bigger. Okay, that means that you can grab that, the MX Vertical or the Ergo or the Lift like this. You can grab it kind of with the meat of your palm and moving the mouse around without it causing much issue. You don't ever actually hit, these two buttons. And then number two, the buttons on this mouse run the entire length of the mouse chassis. Now, that's okay and everything, but when you have a mouse that's already small and you put your fingers where do you think you're naturally going to want to put your fingers on this mouse? You're going to want to grab it like this. This is how you're going to want to grab it, so that your thumb can rest right here on this little well, right? Some of the pictures that you see on Amazon for this mouse, they've got the grip back here, and that's okay, I guess, but it doesn't feel very intuitive. This feels more natural to me, and again, just those accidental clicks are just super common. And I think if you had, if Kinesis and City Ergonomics had pushed, maybe cut some of this plastic and just made this, not fully run the length, you might have a better product here. That's what I'll say about that. The other thing that I'm just not a fan of with this mouse, there are two major things. One is the location of this mouse wheel. This mouse wheel is fine on pretty much any mouse except this mouse. And it's because of how small it is, in my opinion. So on a mouse like the MX Master 3, right, you have your palm on the mouse. This is very, normal. Your fingers and everything rest on the click, on your left and right click, and you can move back and forth between left click and your mouse wheel. Same with the G Pro Wireless. If you are using a claw, you could still, it's here, but you're not moving your finger a lot, okay? With the MX, with the DXT, you don't have that ability, and I'll explain. If you're holding the mouse like this, okay, which genuinely feels like the natural way to do it, you have to crane your finger back to do this, okay? Now, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but after a while, it gets kind of old. Keep in mind that while you're doing this, your middle finger or your ring finger has to constantly be gripping this so you can actually scroll whatever you're scrolling. I found that when I was using this mouse, that I was actually using my middle finger more often to scroll, because it just, I don't know, it felt weird. I would end up putting if I was scrolling, I would end up relocating my index finger up here where there's nothing, and then holding the bottom of the mouse with my ring finger, which, as you can see, there's really not that much space, and doing this. And this just doesn't feel natural. The last thing that I want to discuss about this mouse, and it's probably the main reason that I personally wouldn't recommend it, is the fact that this mouse costs $100 on Amazon right now. Now, I don't know if this mouse has, been on, a lot of sales or anything, but from what I've seen, I don't think so. And for $100, you can get pretty much any ergonomic mouse that you want, including the premium ones from Logitech, from Elecom, from there's a couple of other ones, but yeah, you can get other premium mouse products with more features for $100. And this mouse has one feature that I would consider to be like, oh, that's cool. It's ambidextrous. You can use it with your left or your right hand. Everything else about this mouse, other than the fact that it's got, a fairly unique ergonomic shape, is, that's it. This whole area here is unused. This area by the thumb well is unused, and I feel like both of those areas could have been used to add some extra features, but unfortunately they weren't. So would I recommend this? Unfortunately, no, I wouldn't. Kinesis, City Ergonomics, if you folks are watching, it's a good product, but it just needs some work. And I hope that, you know, this is not a bash on them. I believe that, you know, getting feedback from your customers is important, and you know, the grip is cool and everything. Just maybe make a heavier click version of this, and add a couple more features to make this worth $100 in my opinion. So that was the review. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you folks want, you know, any additional reviews on mice that I happen to have, just let me know. Thank you very much and have a great day. Peace.